Next question today comes in from Stewart Hirsch. Stewart Hirsch leads strategic relationships. Stewart asks us, how will a lawyer know when it's time to sell the law practice? So, Stewart, thanks so much. And here I'm going to share an infographic that shows what a typical client is thinking when they're just ready to sell, right? Now, there's a distinction between ready to sell and stop practicing, right? Because the most popular complaint that we get when lawyers call us and they say, okay, I'm thinking of selling my practice. I'm like, all right, well, what do you want? Well, what I really want is they don't want to manage the practice anymore. So we're going to distinguish between selling and stopping practicing. So when it comes to this question of like, how do you know when it's time to sell, right? What this senior attorney is epitomizing is what typical thoughts are, which is, okay, maybe next year I'm finally going to be able to slow down. Okay, when will my internal successors actually walk down the hall, come into my office and say, okay, I'm ready to buy? By the way, that rarely happens, okay, because they just want a job and they don't want to take over your law practice. Next one is, when can I finally take a 2-week vacation? Because the law office just anchors them into their home community. And they're not able to take a 2, let alone a 3-week vacation because of that anchor of the office. And then also, they're just sick and tired, and this is a big one, of payroll, right? It's due every 2 weeks, and rent is due on the first of the month. So when it comes to, what are their options, okay, when it comes to selling their law practices, they really have 3 options. The options are to sell the law firm to a growing law firm, to structure an internal succession plan, or just continue with that status quo, which we already know is really not satisfactory to many senior attorneys as the years go by. Every monthly rent check, every other week with making payroll reinforces that many senior attorneys certainly have in their minds they want to sell, which often, as I was saying before, is that they really don't want to manage the office. Yes, we can help them structure terms for selling, but what we're often helping our clients do is sell their firms by joining growing law firms. They continue to practice for a certain number of years, earn revenues while they're continuing to practice, and then we're helping structure earn-out terms where they're being paid over time. And that leads into this next infographic, which is that in addition to the thoughts of the senior attorneys about when is the right time to sell, sometimes it just hits you in your face. Okay, because post 2020, those lawyers that are maintaining their status quo and they're not adopting new methods for business development for their firms, what we're seeing in the marketplace is that if you maintain your status quo and you rely on your word of mouth reputation of how business came to your office pre-2020, even pre-Y2K, right, in the pre-Google, pre-internet age, okay, in this post-2020 age, when younger competitors know that would-be clients are searching on Google, revenues are going down. And when revenues go down, that is another sign that you should really consider selling your law practice, or at least join a growing law firm. Because what we find is when our clients join growing law firms, then those growing law firms that recognize the synergy values that senior attorneys offer to growing law firms, our clients, senior attorneys, can see their revenues increase as compared to status quo when they decrease. And then finally, because it can be seen here in this infographic, for lawyers, unfortunately, that wait too long, some kind of random Tuesday event can happen. That is a physical or mental incapacity or unexpected death. And in those situations, the value of a firm plummets, because in any law firm sale today, we need the senior attorney to transition the clients and the referral sources for the senior attorney to realize the value of their practice. And if the senior attorney is unavailable for that, the practice's value just absolutely plummets.